Hey guys, what up? My name's Jonathan Reich. I live in Louisiana, and because I live in Louisiana, I have to buy my snowboard gear online. I don't have a local shop here where I can go and say, "Hey guys, I want to check out your boards. I want to check to make sure my boots are going to fit, stuff like that." Our tallest point in Louisiana is like literally 300 feet. We don't have mountains. We barely have hills, and so if you were to have a snowboard shop here, you would go out of business. And we don't even really have great skateboard shops because we don't have a ton of skate parks and infrastructure and stuff like that set up. So, with that, I do actually enjoy snowboarding quite a bit. I got hooked on skiing, but then I realized snowboarding looked like it was a lot more fun. And so I was like, okay, well, I need to learn how to do that. And after tumbling down the mountain several times, I finally figured it out. I have hurt myself a lot snowboarding, but I still really enjoy it. We try and go once a year to Angel Fire, New Mexico. And so when I'm looking for a snowboard, obviously it's like, a really big investment. It's really expensive and you don't want to screw it up. So today I want to talk about some of the online retailers that I've checked out when considering buying a snowboard, who I've been happy with, who I've considered, and who I ultimately ended up choosing and why. So the first one that I want to talk about is Tactics. They sell your core snowboard gear. They're really rider focused. They've got boots, bindings. They're also going to have apparel, stuff like that. I like Tactics because anything over $99, you're going to get free shipping. And as you know, in this hobby, $99 is chump change. So, you can't really get much for $99. And it's right here, free shipping over 99 bucks. So returns, 60-day, no hassle returns. Really appreciated that. You're going to want to make sure that it is in sellable condition. So don't go barreling down the mountain for 59 days and then be like, oh, let me see if I can return this and get my money back. That's probably not going to work. But I thought 60 days was pretty generous. And then it's a prepaid label, $5. You can send it back to Tactics and they'll process a return. They also do in-store returns if you are near one of their like actual physical brick and mortar locations. So that's something to think about. Some items though you'll need to pay attention to though. All sales are final. Make sure you're aware of that. Something like grip decks, for instance. Price match. So Tactics does a really good job on keeping competitive pricing. So I never really felt like I was going to overpay. And they also have local stores in Oregon, Seattle. I think there may have been one in England. I think I saw on their website. I could scroll through down here and it would tell you where they're at, but I'm not going to because I'm trying to jump through this video. So overall, I did use Tactics for these reasons. I really enjoyed browsing their site. I thought they had a fairly wide range of selections. But some of the other sites that I want to talk about are Backcountry. So they obviously have snowboards, but they also have a ton of apparel. They're really just an outdoor retailer. So if you're looking for something more than just a snowboard, you can definitely check out Backcountry. Free shipping on anything over 69 bucks. You'll have to spend a little bit more with Tactics to get that free shipping, but with the price of things nowadays, like that's almost trivial. 90-day returns on unused items. Keep that in mind. So if you try it out and you decide you don't like it, you could get yourself into hot water. 30 days on used items for store credit. They'll price match from other authorized dealers. Similar to Tactics, you'll see that is kind of like a recurring thing. And then they have like surprisingly good customer support. So I wouldn't have an issue using Backcountry, but I just ended up going with Tactics. So that is, they're another great retailer. Obviously, all of these are going to be great retailers because it's such a competitive market. Like if you're spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars, I mean, just look at these prices. If you're spending hundreds of dollars, you want to make sure you choose the right retailer. Any one of these will end up treating you right. But once again, I did ultimately lean towards Tactics. So Evo, they have snowboard hard goods, outerwear accessories. That's kind of a recurring theme. Most of these vendors are going to sell, probably what you're looking for, a snowboard deck. But then, they're going to get you your cover and your gloves and your jackets and stuff like that. It's not just, most of them don't specialize just in snowboard. So shipping, anything $50 or more. So we're getting cheaper from 99 to 65 to 50. Returns, a 365-day return window, which is super generous, but they have to be unused or like new. Price match, they'll beat anybody by 5%. However, it has to be a qualified U.S. authorized retailer. And then they also do have locations within the U.S. So once again, another like very good contender. I just felt like Tactics for their customer service, their selection of what I wanted was the better value. So I didn't have any issue picking them. Snowboards.com with an S. So they're a little bit more niche, and they're focused primarily on snowboards. So they're going to have less apparel, less like accessories and things like that. So that was kind of refreshing to see. Free shipping on anything over $50. You can see that's up there in their header. There is a 15% restock fee if you do ultimately decide to return something. So do keep that in mind. But there are free exchanges in the United States. If you're watching this video outside of the continental U.S., good luck. I don't know if this will apply to you guys. So price match, they will match qualifying prices by authorized retailers. That's something that we're going to see from pretty much all of these folks. And then they have pretty good customer support, in my opinion. The House was another one that I considered purchasing from. And so they have another wide selection, but they do a lot more. They do snowboard, skis, hike, camping, bike, water sports, skates. So they do less apparel, but more like outside activities, which I thought was great because I don't like to just snowboard. I also like to hike, and I might use them for some of my other needs, but I did not use them for the snowboard. So, but they are a long-running board shop. $99 free shipping right here. And then 90-day return window for most new and unused items. But you are going to pay for the return shipping. So keep that in mind. So a snowboard is kind of an unwieldy object. You want to make sure you get it right the first time and that you do actually like it. And so that kind of goes back to why I say if you do have a local shop, check them out first. Always support local because they're going to be able to tell you, hey, this fits. This might be a little long for you. Maybe not your style. Maybe try this wider board or a more narrow board. Those local shops are always going to have you keyed in just a little bit better than these online shops. But if you're like me, you're stuck with online. So just get used to it. Price match. I like the House because if you see a lower price, they'll compete with it up to 14 days after purchase, which I thought was like really neat. So that is something to consider if you are price sensitive. So the final one I want to talk about is REI Co-op. They sell pretty much all outdoor stuff. They sell like a lot of stuff under the sun. Once again, it's kind of like the House where they're not just focused on like winter sports, but they'll do cycling, climbing, hiking. They have fair pricing, free shipping on anything over $60. And then they don't offer price matching though, which is one of the reasons I was like, I didn't love that. So stores and services are all over the U.S. So if you can pop into a local store, absolutely do that. But overall, any of these platforms are going to serve you well. Check out Tactics. I think they had the best value overall, and so that's ultimately what I ended up purchasing. We're now in October of 25. We're going to go skiing in February of 26. I'm super excited. We'll be there in just 4 months when it's a little bit cooler because it's still kind of hot outside. You can see I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope that you can make an informed decision. Get your snowboard from the right place. Shop local if you can. We'll see you next time.